Hi there, I'm Martin Popoff. You are watching CMS TV.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh!
And a happy Monday. Welcome to the Seth Williams Show with Chris Akin. How you doing, Chris?
I am wonderful. How are we doing today?
Oh, fantastic. Lovely. Beautiful day outside. Things couldn't be better.
Yeah,
Well,
that's good.
That's not entirely true, but I mean, things are all right, I guess. I have no idea. You ever get to one of those points in your life where, like, I have no idea what the hell's going on? Things are just kind of moving around me. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens next and waiting for the next shoe to drop or the next kicking the balls or the next good thing. I mean, like, there's just so many things going on at one time.
Yeah, I live there on occasion, but I try to just look at what's in front of me right now. I try not to look too far in the future because you don't know. I mean, no matter how, dude, if you, let's just say for the sake of argument, you got some side gig that was going to pay you $50,000 in the next month, some great amount of money that would help you tremendously.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
You would be looking at that, and next thing you know, it drops out on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It drops out like all of a sudden. It's just like, well, change of plan or whatever. And you fall that much deeper into depression. If you just look at what you got today, nobody can make it any worse than what you got today.
No, I'm not like starting off the show complaining like I normally do. I'm just, I'm just saying that, there seems to be a lot of moving pieces, parts right now in life.
Sure.
And, trying to figure it all out. Like, hey, Habu, hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Just for instance, maybe I shouldn't talk shop on the air sometimes.
Why not?
Anyways, but like, the company that I work for, they let go of a bunch of people back in January.
Sure.
And they put out, when that came around, they put out a mandatory all-staff meeting tomorrow, Zoom call, or whatever day was, Zoom call, mandatory, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then, unfortunately, they had to let go of people, and it was crazy because they did it over a Zoom call. So it's just bizarre. Sure. I never had anything like that before.
Okay.
And so they put out another email saying, You're invited to a Zoom call on Tuesday, tomorrow. But it's not mandatory. It didn't say mandatory, must be there kind of thing like the last one did. Mm-hmm. And it said, quarterly report or something like that. So it's obvious. These kind of emails have gone on for years where I work.
Sure.
But everybody and their mother is all of a sudden like, oh, shit. Oh, we're all screwed. It's over.
Right.
And they're sitting there going, well, I didn't think anything like that. Like, I'm just sitting there thinking, all right, quarterly report, that's what they always do. Nothing new. But it didn't say mandatory all staff or else kind of meeting. It just said you're invited to a Zoom call. Here's the thing, quarterly report, town hall meeting. I'm like, what? I don't understand. So now, of course, me, I mean, I worry about whether the sky's actually going to fall tonight. And
sure.
So now for like 4 days, I've been like, oh my God, my stomach's in knots. I'm ready to throw up all over the place. And you worry.
Well, yeah. But you know what? You always worry. If it's not your own business, you always worry. There's always that piece of you, that the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean,
and that's just it. I mean, like, look, I worked at iHeart for how long? And every year I thought that, when that budget time came around, you knew it was either going to be November or like March, and you were screwed. There were numerous people going to get fired.
Yeah.
And, the one time I wasn't worried about it is when I actually got fired. But so, I mean, like for years, 20 years, I sat back and was like, oh my God, here we go.
Sure.
And so, I mean, it's always, again, you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. But so, but now some of these people got me paranoid beyond belief.
Well,
at the same time, I got some good news from, my employer.
Yeah.
Which I guess we can get into.
We can get into that. Even though you already blew it for today, but okay.
I did, but we decided we weren't going to do it until Wednesday. So
I know.
I'll probably blow it then too. I'm going to be sitting there at a computer for like 900 years. We'll get into that in a second. So we got that kind of stuff going on. And of course, the days are quickly going by where, my daughter's getting closer and closer to this graduation party. My dad and his wife are going to be coming up here. And so, I got to get this house in order because, look, it's not that they're critical people, but they're very critical people. And so, when I was in a hospital, right, and I was in for like a month, I got back and like half my shit was gone, dude. Like my stuff that I loved and spent a lot of money on throughout my life collecting, whether it's superhero stuff, Star Wars stuff, whatever. People have a different idea what junk is and what, one man's trash, another man's treasure.
Sure.
So I got out of the hospital, like most of my stuff was gone, boxes thrown in garbage, and half my life was missing.
Right.
So I got to make sure that this place looks appropriate. Let me get tossed, and I'm right. Of course, I have a dog and cats all over the place, and so it's going to be another thing. And then, of course, getting closer to my daughter going off to college.
Sure.
And to be honest with you, it's really stressing me out a little bit.
Yeah, as it should. It should.
For over 18 years, we've been responsible for her and had her here. And with the occasional sleepover or whatever that she went to with a friend or some crap, or down from vacation with her grandparents, we haven't really had to be without her all that much. And now, I'm going to wake up on certain days where it's like her and I, we have our time together going out and getting breakfast or whatever we do. And that time's all going to be gone.
Yeah.
And so it's waking up every morning to that reality of, okay, well, things are about to really, really change here in a couple of months. And you're so good at change anyway that it's really going to make that much difficult. I am so terrible with change. My entire life has been based on a routine, like forever. And when one breaks, I just start another one. So I mean, like, I broke the routine of smoking every day. Right? And so I've given up smoking, which is great, but now I have a routine of eating straws. And I literally have a stack of straws just sitting here next to the computer, so I have something to chew on. And then so I go from one routine to another.
Sure. Dude, it's no wonder I get along so good with you, because my daughter, the exact same way.
Really?
She can't deal with change for a minute. I mean, for a minute. If they change her hours at her job and say, you got to stay an extra half hour tonight because we got to get something done or something like that.
Yeah.
The world is over.
Oh, dude.
'Cause that's not what was in the plan.
Well, dude, you don't understand. Like my wife, that's so funny that you say that because my wife came home like last week and she's like, by the way, just letting you know that there's a couple of days in the coming weeks where I have to stay late to, make phone calls or they're rolling out a new system or something like that at work and I got to stay here till, and immediately my brain goes, no, you fucking don't. What do you mean? That's not what you were hired for. That's not what you should just tell them no.
Your contract says 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you signed up for this time and not this time. So no way. You got to tell them, no, you can't do it. Well, what do you want me to do? Get fired? No, just tell them no. And so, because again, my brain is so trained on routine and no change.
Right.
That I can't handle it. I mean, it freaks me out.
Can you multitask or no?
I can multitask somewhat decently.
Can you? See, that's surprising that because multitasking lives in the chaos. It's surprising that you can do stuff in chaos.
For instance, like when I run a show, like I'm running Bob's show, there is a lot of multitasking for me because it's like I create my own chaos for that though. So I know what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm trying to run his show, listen to him, and then I'm also on the phone booking guests for the show or, typing or emailing and trying to do that. So I am multitasking during that period. But that's only to create my routine for after the show.
Right.
Because if I get everything done during the show, then after the show, I'm free to continue my routine of I'm going to eat my lunch at 12:36 and I'm going to, and like I even have a routine like with like my lunch. So like my routine with lunch at 12:36 is when I'll get up and I'll go down to the cafeteria and I get Hot Pockets, so I make 2 of them. And so I have a bag of chips and I have these 2 Hot Pockets. So I have a routine down to everything that I do, even with the Hot Pockets. I'm so fucking weird. So like I'll rip off the top of one Hot Pocket, rip off the bottom of it, eat those. Then I'll have some chips.
Right.
I'll put those down. Then I'll eat the rest of the one Hot Pocket. Then I'll have some chips. Then I'll go to the other Hot Pocket, rip off both ends of that, eat those, have some chips, go back, finish the rest of that Hot Pocket, and then I'll have some chips to finish it off with. So it all times out right, it's the same every single time I sit there. And it's crazy and it's horrible. And I hate having it. But I do. I'm just routine with every little thing that I do.
Sure.
Like this show. I really have to be sick to not do this show. Like if I'm sweating like a pig and I'm on my deathbed for the most part, I'll say can't do it. But it's just the routine. I have an alarm set for 3:35 downstairs, and at 3:35 I will come up here, and I still have another alarm that was set for 3:45 that I will turn off when I'm up here. And I sit here for those 20 minutes. I have the same songs that I listen to before every show on YouTube while I'm looking at stuff. And it's just a routine. Everything is a fucking routine. Right. And so my goal is to break my routine. But I'm afraid that if I break my routine, it's like I'm going to die or something. Some horrible.
It's got to kill you that I show up in here 30 seconds before showtime.
I literally had your phone, like the number dialed on my phone and was like looking at it going, all right, if he doesn't show up in 10 seconds, I'm going to call him.
But I'm always on time.
Yes, you are. But see, I know that though. In my head, I know that. But at the same time, I'm going, all right, I got a problem here. All right, pull the number up. Don't hit dial yet. Just have it ready to go.
I'm always working on the others on the real job. Yeah. Right up. I try to get as far as I can possibly get so I don't have to go back to doing it after the show, where I can just kind of mix the show and put it up. And like tonight, I'll watch wrestling or something. I don't want to have to go back to work. So I work till the last second.
But see, again, like a night for me. A night after this, I will go out dashing. We'll get home. I have to have dinner just around 8:30ish. It's got to be like 8:30ish to have dinner because we're dashing until then. And then 8:30ish, I can have my dinner. At 9:30, my wife is tired, and I'll go into the bedroom though, and I have 6 sugar-free cookies, right? They're sugar-free, but I have to have 6, not 4, not 5, not 7, not 8. It's got to be 6, but they're sugar-free, so they're not bad for me.
Right.
But it's a routine. Even when I'm not hungry, I got to make sure that I have these 6 cookies, and I take 2 Diet Cokes with me. And I have one sitting there to eat with cookies, and I have one sitting there for bedtime. It's just the same routine.
Mhm.
And I hate that. I hate it. Despise having a routine.
Dude,
but for whatever reason, I
Netflix
can't
has
break
to,
it.
Netflix has to kill you because that takes you out of your routine choosing something.
I don't watch that. Like, I find shows that I want to watch. So, like, I've told you before, every day for dinner is Judge Judy.
Right.
And I've probably seen every episode like 5 times. But they're always recorded every single day, and so that's what I have during dinner. At night, I've recently gotten into 2.5 Men.
Okay, yeah.
Which I think is hysterical. But now I have 117 episodes of that recorded on my little whatever it is.
DVR thing.
DVR.
Right.
And that's what I will sit and watch. And it won't be anything else. Nothing. I don't even know what's on Netflix. I have it. I don't watch it. Don't have it. I'm not going to look at it. I mean, I pay for it, but I can't because that would completely throw me off.
Right. And you can't cancel it because you're used to seeing that bill.
At night. Exactly. At night. I watch I have what's that stupid music thing? Spotify.
Spotify, yeah.
I have Spotify. At night, there's so many things to choose from. I like to listen to like podcasts or something when I lay down to go to bed. There's so many different things to choose from. So I decided the other night I was going to break my routine. My routine is I listen to these serial killer podcasts every night.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking crazy because all it is people torturing people and murderers and rape and all kinds of horrible stuff. But it's a serial killer podcast.
Right.
And so I sit there and listen to that when I go to bed. The other night I said, I'm going to break my routine. I'm going to listen to Pat McAfee going to bed. Okay. I was like, I feel like something a little bit more lighthearted. I'm going to listen to some sports.
Sure.
And I listened to it for 10 minutes. I said, what the fuck? I can't fall asleep to this. And I went back to the serial killer thing. So everything is a routine. It's so fucking disgusting and horrible, dude. I don't know how my wife puts up with me.
I don't get that. I live so crazy. Like I don't have any routines. Even getting up. Sometimes it's dude, my routines are so off. Like during the week, I get up at a certain time usually. But then on the weekend, I have to transition completely over because of the CMS that goes from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then I do the processing of it right after. So I usually don't end up going to bed till like 7 o'clock in the morning. But then I'll only sleep for like 3 hours because I know I got to get up and switch my whole life back over for Monday to like regular people time again. Right. Your head would explode.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. Like, I can name the probably half dozen restaurants that we go to.
Yeah.
On a nightly basis for dinner and stuff. And it's the same exact meal I get every time, no matter what. I mean, these restaurants have like large menus.
Right.
But I will only get the same exact thing from every restaurant that we go to.
Right.
Like, I just... If I go to Subway, they have a ton of different sandwiches, but I get the same one. I go into Subway going, all right, I'm going to get something different tonight.
Today's going to be the BMT, and then you just don't.
And then I don't. I get the turkey, double meat, double cheese on, wheat bread with lettuce and mayo and ranch.
Why don't you start smaller? Why don't you say, put some onions on this or something? Just something different.
I just can't do that. The other night, I swear to God, I think I'm banned from this restaurant because the other night, I ordered, I'll say the fucking name of the restaurant, fuck them. Dimitro's restaurant over in Broadview Heights.
Okay.
Parma, whatever it is, but it's on Broadview Road. Usually have a great meal there, usually. It's good. But I always get the same thing. I get patty melt on rye bread, and I get mushrooms instead of onions because I don't like onions. So I get mushrooms, but then I get a side of onion rings instead of fries. I like onions that are fried, but not grilled ones. So I get the same exact fucking meal every time I go there.
Right.
Every single time. And ordered it the other night, get it home, and there were fries in the box instead of onion rings. Now, I fucking lost my mind, dude. Because I can't eat that. That's not my meal. That's not what I ordered. That's not what I wanted. And that's what I get every fucking time I go. So now not only am I not eating what I want, but it threw me off my fucking routine. And so now I'm pissed. And so I called the place, and I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Right.
And the guy goes, well, I don't know which one to do. We're closed. I said, well, you screwed up my meal.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I'm not going to make onion rings and run them out to you. I said, I didn't ask for that, but what are you going to do for me? Well, I'll give you a free onion ring the next time you come in. I said, I don't want a free onion ring next time I come in because I'm not coming back in there now. I want my meal refunded.
Yeah.
And I didn't get anywhere with that. And so the next thing I know, I'm swearing at this guy. I'm telling him to F off. I'm like, it got so bad because they just screwed up my order. But you screw up my order, you screw up my routine. I hate it. I can't deal with stuff like that.
That's funny.
And so, but again, that's the way I've always been. That's why I have lost a leg. Because I smoked too much, I drank too much, and I ate too much crap. But my routine made me do it.
Right. Couldn't break that cycle.
But I was in the hospital for a month, and all of a sudden, my cycles were broken. My routine was broken. I haven't smoked again. I haven't drank again. Stopped eating every candy bar that I could. I would just pass up. I don't even think about it. Because my routine is over, and I now have created other routines. Right. Now, I wish that I could get a routine of working out and eating broccoli, dude. But unfortunately, those routines have not yet sunk in.
Right. Well, I think a lot of people struggle with you on that routine, including myself.
But I'm telling you, I think that I would be really, really good at it if I could just create that routine.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, I don't know where my brain is stunted. My growth has been stunted somewhere along my life. And I can't get into a good habit routine. It's only bad habit routine.
You need a shrink is what you need.
You think?
Yeah. Somebody that could help you break bad habits by teaching you new skills to.
I did see a shrink during my first marriage, right? And then I got addicted to, or routine was taking the Xanax.
Right.
And then my routine was, oh my God, this is great. Actually, I didn't have much routines when I was on the Xanax because I was just happy as could possibly be. I was buying big screen TVs and having a party, man. Everything was great.
Dude, why don't you just get into a routine of taking 2 gummies every day, and then you'll be so mellow that you won't have a problem breaking the other routine.
I don't know. I got to figure something out. I got to figure out a way to stop being psychotic with the routines. So.
The gummies might not even hurt you. Not that I'm a doctor. Don't take me as a doctor, but you might do a lot better because you are so stressy with a nice gummy every day about noontime to just right when you start getting to the height of the stress, you just put something in your system that just is like, calm.
Joe, chill, Seth, chill out. Well, don't you think I want to? Don't you think that maybe is part of the problem is that I can't? I mean, the only time that I can chill out and my brain actually relaxes is when I'm in doing the routine.
Mm-hmm.
The only time
it makes sense to me. And again, I raised my daughter, so I certainly understand it. I certainly fully get it. And it's hard to explain to people because normal people, quote unquote, normal people can jump in the car suddenly. Oh, I think I got to run to the store. Boom. Whatever it is. That type of a thing. So, and you can't. There's no way you could. I know you can't do that.
Tom, same way. Exactly the same.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like that. It's not crazy unusual. It's OCD is what it is.
It is.
It's OCD, but you don't have to knock 3 times on the left doorway and twice on the right. And
I used to be, when I was younger, I used to be like that.
Yeah, so you've got OCD. You've just transformed it into your day-to-day habits instead of, having to do a hop step into a door or something.
I mean, a lot of it, I think, comes from, and I think I've said this before, comes from what I do for a living. Because everything that I do for the past 20 years of running talk shows and stuff comes from timing everything out to the second.
Right.
This second. Got 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there, and it's timed out to the exact. And so, part of my OCD, I think, comes from doing that kind of stuff all the damn time.
Sure.
But I would love to chill out. Again, when I'm happiest is when I get those 6 sugar-free cookies and I sit down in the bedroom and I'm watching my TV show that I like, and then all of a sudden my brain shuts down and I can relax a little bit. But if I'm not doing the routine, that's when it throws everything off.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. I don't do it, but I get it.
Bad news, Seth. Remember your fascination with Down syndrome chicks? This report is fake. AI chicks, OnlyFans developed a program to look like that make money. Look,
it's a good scam if it's true.
it's a great scam if they did. I mean, I feel bad. Look, I was never making fun of those people, by the way. I thought it was way hot.
Yeah, you were. I was trying to be all sensitive, and you were being
you were being so sensitive, eating potato chips and stuff. But I'm not buying it until I actually, I saw the one chick who was saying that this is fake. She's just jealous. She doesn't look like those girls.
Some of it probably is fake. Some of everything is probably fake. We're in that world now.
Yes, Seth, you need professional help. I don't want to pay for professional help. Come on,
$30 bag of gummies will last you a while, man.
But, I mean, maybe I do need a little bit of assistance with something, but I mean,
well, try something. Try, I'm saying it half joking, but I'm not fully joking. Try some gummies and just mellow out.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like
what?
I feel like I don't need to turn to a substance to.
But maybe you do.
Relax.
You obviously have a chemical imbalance in that big fucking melon of yours. You probably do need something to,
I guess,
calm the water, so to speak.
I think I'm just because I am tired of it. I mean, it does make for very uncomfortable living at times.
I'll bet it does.
I mean, it even comes down to like when I'm sleeping. It seems like my brain is always on a clock. I mean, I get up at the same time every night, go to the bathroom same time every night. It's like I need to just shut down.
Yeah. Dude, when I was building Pinball PA, I got into this really dangerous habit where I was sleeping, I don't know, like 1 or 2 hours every 2 or 3 days. Like it was really to the dangerous level. And I ended up in the hospital for it. And my one friend is a doctor, and she came in to see me, and she said to me, look, if you're not gonna take steps to fix this, then just go in your backyard when you get home and dig a hole and sit there, because you're gonna die anyway. Save us the problem of digging the hole. And I got her point, and her point was valid. And I did have to make some changes. I had to take the iPad off the bed. I had to take any devices off the bed. And like for me, I'm like you. I'm a TV, go to sleep with the TV guy.
Yeah.
But if it's anything that I've not seen before, I cannot have it on.
Yeah.
I can't, because then I start watching it, my brain engages. And then I'm starting like, he wouldn't have said that. I get into that mode. So now, and I know you've heard me talk about it before, now I'll go to bed and I'll be watching like the Pluto channel of Cheers and Frasier.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen every one of them episodes 400,000 times. But because I have, it just mellows me out. It lets me relax, and it's something that's familiar. So, much in your way, it kind of lets me stay in the pattern, but it lets my brain disengage from the pattern. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I'm looking forward to vacation coming up, because we're going to go on vacation at the end of June. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to that because at least there, there's no way to get sucked into my general routines. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to breaking some of those routines. And honestly, as much as I am worried about like my daughter leaving and stuff like that, I'm looking forward to that in a way that, my wife and I are talking about changing a lot of what we do, including where we live.
Sure.
And trying to, make some changes so I can get out of this rut shit that I'm in. Because I just feel like I'm just stuck. I feel like I'm going nowhere that is beneficial to me. And a lot of that is because of the routines. A lot of it is because I'm stuck and afraid or whatever it is to get out of the routines. And so I have nowhere to go, to go up or anything. It's just the same.
Right. You put yourself in the box, and now you don't want to be in the box anymore.
Yeah. And I got to figure out a way to get out of that box.
Get it.
Because it sucks. I mean, like, I don't like doing it. I mean, people are like giving me shit. It's like, well, you don't understand. It's not like I enjoy it.
There's nobody giving you shit, at least in
like
the chat room or nothing.
It's not like I look forward to doing the same shit every day or having the same routines. It's just the way that I've been. And I need to figure out a way to get out of it. I mean, when I started in radio and was having just a good time with my life, I certainly didn't have these kind of routines.
Sure.
And I was doing stuff, all kind of stuff. And before that, I was doing all kind of stuff. Maybe it's because of that. Maybe it's because I was doing all kind of bad stuff and things that, maybe I shouldn't have been doing, that I did put myself into the box of just staying routine. I don't know. I mean, I can't analyze myself.
Well, dude, part of it is age. When you're in your 20s, you're willing to take more risks, and you don't look at them as risks. Now, the things that you would have done back then, you look at as risky. I'll just use one example, but there's a zillion. I'll use drunk driving as an example. When you were 20, I didn't know you that well when you were 20, but I know this. You did your share of drunk driving. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
And so did I, and so did everybody that's listening, to be honest, or most everybody that's listening. As you get older, what do you do if you've had a couple of drinks at a party? You don't have that old attitude of fuck it, I can make it, no problem.
Right.
Instead now it's, can I afford that ticket? Do I have time to be in jail? Do I want the hassle? As you get older, your brain processes things different. And what does that do? It pushes you into the box a little more, So now, like this is one area, like for me, I used to drunk drive all the time. And this is only until recently, to be honest. I'm not proud of it, but I'm just being honest about it. Up until about 5 years ago, I was still driving drunk a lot. And just recently, I just have it now of, you know what? I'll just call Uber. What the fuck? It's $30. I'll call Uber or whatever, and I'll get home. What does that do, though? Now I'm pushed into the box of, well, if I do this behavior, there is now a consequence. Where before there was no consequence. Before we were Wild Westing it. Oh. That's the difference. You're more, you don't want to Wild West anything, because if you do, then it causes you hassle. If you eat your lunch at 12:38, well, now you're late.
Yes.
In your brain.
In my brain, I'm late.
In your brain, you're late. So now you're overcompensating for the whole rest of the day to find those 2 minutes.
Here's another example. Perfect example. Today, I leave for work same time every day. So I look down at my phone. I'm watching my show before I leave for work. And I'm sitting in my little wheelchair there, and I put my leg on, and it's 7:35 that I leave for work. 7:35.
Okay, I added that for tonight.
I don't know what's going on here. And so at 7:35, I get up. I go grab my lunch out of the fridge, and I got my little bag and get my Diet Coke, and I go out to the car and I leave. And usually by the time I get all my stuff together, I look at the clock on my way out in the car, and it's usually 7:39 or 7:40. So I'm good. And I'm like, all right. And so this morning, I get out of the driveway and I get to the end of my street and I realize, oh shit, I forgot my glasses.
Okay.
And I stopped in the middle of the street and I'm going, what the fuck do I do? And for any normal person, I'm literally just at the end of my street. I mean, it's like, turn around and just go get your glasses, dude. But I literally stopped in the middle of the street and I'm staring at the clock and I'm staring at my steering wheel going, I don't know what to do here. So I go back and get my glasses, but then I'm going to be off schedule here. And I said, but if I don't have my glasses, then I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see the computer screen to do the emails that I got to do. I was like, what do I do? And I'm sitting there, do I have another pair of glasses somewhere? And by the time I'm getting all this in my head, I could have gone back and just got the damn glasses.
Right.
But I'm just sitting there in the middle of the road like a jackass going, what the fuck should I do?
Right.
And so finally I was like, all right, turn around, go get the glasses. So I get back in the garage, I put my leg on, I'm like as fast as I can move, walking in to get my glasses. I get back into the car, I'm looking at the clock, I'm like, oh, fuck. It's now 7:43. Now, granted, I don't start until 9 o'clock. And the station is like 15 minutes from the house. So, I mean, it's not like, but I still know that I had to stop in my routine. I still had to stop at the gas station because I always get 4 Diet Cokes and a giant water to take to work with me. And so I knew I had to get there. So, dude, now I'm hauling ass to try to make up for this fucking 3-4 minutes that I'm behind. I'm going through red lights, dude, trying to make sure that I make up the time that I'm missing from what I was supposed to leave. Right. And this is the kind of shit that controls my life. And it sounds crazy, and it is. But that's the way that my brain works. And I want to take a risk. I want to be able to take a risk and say, fuck it. I'm not doing anything other than getting my shit, packing it up. We're leaving. We're moving. And I'm going to start a new career in another state. And I'm going to do what I got to do. I'll dash until I find a fucking job in Florida. I'm just going to make it work. And then my brain will melt down. Dude, there's smoke coming out of my head when I get those thoughts of actually taking a risk and doing something different with my life.
Right.
I mean, how crazy is that, Chris? I was going through
it's red not lights see, you think
to try to make up the 3 minutes of time that I was late from forgetting my glasses.
You think it's crazy, but what it is that you've just pushed yourself into that box. You live your life on a hard clock. And there's so many. See, where you, like, immediately, and I'll bet you half the audience feels the same way. When you're saying, I have to stop and I have to get four Cokes and a water.
Diet Cokes, right?
Yeah, 4 Diet Cokes and a water every day. I guarantee you, everybody that's listening thought, why don't you just buy a case of Coke a case of Diet Coke on Saturday, and a case of water, and just put it with you, and now you gain 5 minutes on your trip every day.
Brian Mike says,
but you can't do it.
Brian Mike says, get 6 packs of Diet Coke from the store and put them in the fridge. Don't buy them at the gas station. Okay.
It's not part of the routine.
Look, if I took this computer down with me right now, I wish I could just put it on the phone and go downstairs and show you that in the garage I have like 4 or 5 6-packs of Diet Coke, and I have 2 giant cases of water in the fucking garage. Yeah. And I have some already in the fridge. But I don't take those. I have to stop at the gas station. I stop at the Meijer gas station, and I stop at that Meijer gas station with it timed out the way that I do at usually 7:55. It takes me 3 minutes to go in there, grab some straws instead of cigarettes, get my 4 Diet Cokes, get my water. I'm back in the car by 7:58, 7:59, which is when my wife calls me to say hello and goodbye. She's going to work or she's walking into work. I have everything timed out to the fucking minute. I know it sounds crazy, and it absolutely is. There's plenty of Diet Coke in the garage and in the fridge right now, but I stop every single day. It's $12.72 to get my Diet Coke and my water. And it's still cheaper than getting cigarettes and beer, so I'm happy with that. But it's exact same thing every single day. I know all the girls' names that work at the fucking Meijer. I see them every day, have the bag ready for me when I walk in. The lady at Meijer knows me so well that they were out of Diet Coke. I went to the cooler. I started freaking out, dude. And there was no Diet Coke in the cooler. And she goes, don't worry, I put the 4 back in the back for you. And she went in the back of the cooler and got me the 4 Diet Cokes that I needed. I mean, that's how crazy it is.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, and I know why it is. And I know what you need to do to fix it. But what you need to do is get yourself something that mellows you out so you don't feel so bad breaking the habit, and then break the habit. That's why I was saying, even if you bit off half a gummy and it just took the edge off, I'm not saying get stoned. I'm just saying get yourself a little bit less anal about this stuff. Then you'd be able, like if you bit off half a gummy at 7:00 in the morning, you could drive right past the Meijer. You could absolutely do it because you wouldn't have that. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. And I guarantee you that's how you're thinking. When you're driving up to it, your brain is already engaging in, it's half mile away, it's a quarter mile away. Hope there's no traffic. Hope there's nobody standing in line. Now, you get into all that bullshit, don't you?
Of course. And let me tell you the weirdest part. I buy the 4, right?
Yeah.
I buy the 4 Diet Cokes and water. I'll drink the water through the 3.5 hours of the show. That's the only thing I'll have. I'll have 1 Diet Coke after I'm done with the show during lunch. I won't have any more.
So you bring them home?
I'll bring the other 3 home.
And put them in a fridge that's already full.
Put them in the fridge that's already full of Diet Cokes, and then I'll buy more the next day. How fucking crazy is that? And it's not. I'm not joking. I mean, that's like legitimately. That's legitimately what I do. I came home today with 3 Diet Cokes, put them in the fridge, made sure I had one to take up to do the show with, and the others are sitting there with the other ones I already bought. And then I'll do the same exact fucking thing tomorrow because I'll probably drink the Diet Cokes tonight at some point. But I will go get the same ones tomorrow, and then I'll drink the one while I'm at work, and then I'll have the others. It's fucking nuts.
I'm telling you the answer.
Bob's right. See, Seth isn't crazy. You just need a change. I need a change. No doubt.
You do, but you've got yourself so boxed in that you can't make the change. That's what
my wife and I have been talking since Molly was, an infant. That we didn't want to move her around the country. We didn't want her to have to keep changing school after school after school, and we wanted her to stay in town with friends and knowing her surroundings and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And we said when she's gone and off to college, that's when we want to do our own thing and change our lives too, and go off to somewhere else and do our own thing. And so I'm hoping and praying that we actually do that. And I said to her, look, I want to do this. We have to figure out a way.
Well, don't hope and change. Do.
Well,
put the house here. You want to force it? Put the house on the market.
That's what my dad said. He's like, do that. Just put it on there.
Put the house on the market. Give yourself we gotta sell this place by July 1st. Boom. Now you're stuck into. You have to make a change. You have to make plans. You have to find a apartment or a house in Florida. If you put the house up, you have to make a change. It doesn't leave you any room for wiggle unless you want to lose an ass load of money taking it back off the market.
Right. I mean, and then, you get into the fear of I've never done this before. I don't know how to move. I don't know what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. What's this going to cost? What's that's going to cost? I mean, it's all that stuff it's the fear of the unknown. I know with my routine exactly what I'm going to get every single day. Yeah. And it's that fear of unknown that I don't like.
Let's put
it at the same time. You're talking to a guy who has no fucking leg, dude. I have been dealing with the fear of the unknown for a while now, for 3 years. I have to face stuff almost every day. I'm going, I don't know how I'm going to tackle this challenge, but I'm going to make it through, and I do.
But you've built your life around it. You've built your life around knowing what you can do and just doing that. You're not out there there are some guys that lose their leg and they get ambitious and they run a marathon or something. They get the bouncies and they get the bouncy leg and they run a marathon or that kind of shit. You're not doing that. You're not trying to push yourself into a different place. What you're doing is, I know I need to park here. I know I need this much time to get into the office. I know once I get into the office, I need this much time because I get out of breath from walking with one leg. I know that I need, this way to get in. I know that I need the snow not in my garage because, all these little things that you've said over the years on the show make sense because of the leg. And I get it. My thing to you is, if you don't do something to force yourself out of it, I'm going to tell you who you're going to be in 4 months. You are going to go to the same restaurant that you and Molly go to now every Sunday for breakfast, and you're going to sit there by yourself.
I know.
You're going to be that guy. And you don't want to be that guy.
No.
You don't want to be Michael Corleone at the end of The Godfather 3. Just sitting there waiting to die.
Maybe Seth needs a lobotomy. Maybe. Thank you.
Jesus.
You do something just once and it's no longer the unknown, I guess. Moved to Kentucky. I'm a kid in school. Outside Cincy. I mean, look, it's one of the things we thought about.
Why would you move to Kentucky? What if she changes schools in a year? That's not a good idea.
Are you just bored? I am bored. There's no doubt about that. I mean, look, I'm in a routine of, like I said earlier, there's nowhere to go. I mean, I'm not going to make any more money doing what I'm doing for a living where I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to advance into anything else. I mean, my prayers almost on a weekly basis are surrounded by, God, I wish I could make just a little bit of money doing this podcast and have, get the word out somehow and have more people listening to it. Yeah. And so maybe it could go somewhere. I don't need to be Joe Rogan, but I mean, if we were just making somewhat of a decent money with this thing, and maybe, it would be something that I could do and give up some of the other crap that I'm doing to make money. And, but again, I'm just stuck. I'm stuck in this fog of a routine that I can't get out of. And, my wife is the same kind of way, in a way. I mean, she's been at the same job for, almost over a decade. Keeps it because she likes vacation and stuff like that. But there's shit that, I'm sure she would like to get away from too. And it's just, you get into the like you said, the box of, you got to do something. Got to get out of it. I want to burn the fucking box down. I want to light it on fire and completely start fresh. That would be my ultimate goal here.
Yeah, but the irony of that is there's nothing stopping you from doing just that.
But
nothing.
I feel like there is. It's me that's stopping myself.
Yeah. You could easily tomorrow. What time do you get off at the radio station? Like 2? Is that right?
2:30.
2:30. On the ride home from 2:30 to 3, you could talk to a realtor and say, I got this house. Here's where it's located. I want it listed. You could have that conversation before you get home tomorrow. And believe me when I tell you, they'll come out and do it. So what is really stopping you, except you, fear of jumping out of the box?
Rick, sometimes when you get into your 40s, you start wondering what is it all for, and
that's a truth.
And that is absolutely true. But like one of my good friends, Billy Fisher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was with did stuff for Triv, great singer, did a lot of stuff for the benefits, and just a great guy, but a great singer. Mm-hmm. And that guy, I still sit in awe sometimes going, how the hell did he do it? The guy picked up and said, I'm moving to Vegas. He's like, I want to do something with my singing career, and I'm moving to Vegas. I'm going to try to do something. You know how much balls that takes to try to go out to somewhere like Vegas, of all places, and try to make it as an entertainer where everybody and their mother, the waitress, is a fucking entertainer. And he did it. Now he does cruise ships. He does Vegas shows. He is with a group called the Las Vegas Tenors or something like that. And the guy kicks ass all over the place. And I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. I'm jealous in a way that, not that I'm a singer, but I'm jealous that he had the guts to just say, this is what I want. I'm going for it. And he did it, and he succeeded at it. And I'm sure it took a lot of work, and it would take even more balls than it probably did work, just to pick up his family and say, all right, we're going to Vegas. Dude.
Sure.
And to me, that's amazing. And that's all I want to do with my life is just say, all right.
Yeah, but you're saying that's all you want to do. What did he have different than you do?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I do know nothing. He had nothing different than you have.
No,
he just took the leap.
He just did it.
He just did it. That's the only difference. He took that first step and bought that plane ticket to Vegas.
Yes.
That's the only difference between him and you.
Yeah, so I got to figure out.
I mean, dude, there's
what I got to do is I got to keep saying, stop saying I got to figure it out. What I have to do is just do stuff.
You got to do
and
it, dude. If you want to make,
I don't think it's laziness.
I've said this to you before. I'll say it again. This podcast, like I do this podcast for fun. No other real reason. I don't expect it to make a bunch of money or whatever. I do this one because I like doing it. And it gives me a chance to hang out with you twice a week, honestly. And I don't give a shit about any other thing that happens with this podcast, quite honestly. I mean, I do the work behind the scenes, whatever, to make sure everybody can enjoy it. But ultimately, I don't care. If you wanted to do a show that makes money, a money-making show that would make sense, you need to do a self-help show. One where you come in with your story of losing your leg, and then you invite people on that have their story as well. And you market that but you got to do the marketing piece of it. Then you market it to every amputee organization out there. Then you get some burn Vicks in and you market it to Phoenix Society and anybody that does burn stuff, anybody that does car crash stuff, anybody that does, lost a loved one to cancer stuff. That will draw lots of attention. If it's somebody that's been through it and got to the other side, talking to people that are trying to get to the other side. That would do a whole lot more than me and you talking about Donald Trump and Sydney Sweeney.
And I get it. And I do understand that. I'm just saying, I don't think it's laziness on my part as much as it is, again, just the routine. Because I have goals and things that I want to accomplish. And it's really easy to say that the only thing holding me back is me. And I'm sure that that's accurate. But it's just, how do I overcome that is what I'm trying to.
Do you ever try using lists? Like, give me one goal that's not moving, something simple that you could do right now.
I don't know. I mean,
making the show bigger. You said it earlier in the thing. I'll give you the answer. So you should say, I'm looking right at our Rumble right now. I'm just throwing a number. Our Rumble, we have 183 followers on it. So you could set a goal of July 1st to have 200 Rumble followers. So you set that goal, and then you set little sub-goals each week that would get you to that. And that could be something as simple as, I need to send out 10 emails to people saying, hey, follow us on Rumble. Or I need to post in a group that's dealing with Donald Trump. Or I need to hit the Sydney Sweeney fan post and share this one. Just, set little tiny goals each day, each week to get you to 200. You have goals, but you're not planning to reach them.
right.
Your goals are pie in the sky. Man, I sure hope it happens. And it is, if you want to truly have a goal, you got to have a plan to get to the pinnacle of the goal.
Just have to take the first step. Oh, that's true. Today's after school special. So the Seth and Chris therapy session, happy hour.
Funny.
Look, I don't talk about this the entire time, but it is. I don't like the position that I'm in.
Sure.
And if I don't like the position I'm in, then I don't understand why I'm not doing something about it. And that's what I need to do. I need to do something about it.
Well, stop trying to understand it and just do it.
I know. Well, that's sometimes easier said than done.
It's always easier said than done.
Maybe I need to, maybe I do need to talk to, get some help or something like that. Maybe if I was on Xanax again, I'd be in a mood where I'm like, fuck it.
Maybe.
And start just doing everything that I want to do.
Yeah. Maybe. You got insurance, right?
Yeah.
There you go. There's nothing stopping you there. Rick. Why don't you do amputee porn? There you go.
I thought about that. I don't think my wife would like that all that much.
I don't know. I'm seeing David Lee Roth perform this weekend at M3, and he's wearing tight leather pants showing he's got a small dick, and there's way too many comments that would blow your head off.
What do you mean?
If it was about you. There's just a bunch of comments about David Lee Roth's small dick. If you had that about you, you would fucking you'd end up killing yourself.
Yeah, probably. That's why we will not catch me wearing tight pants. That's why I said when I die, I don't want anybody doing anything to my body.
Right.
I want my wife to light me on fire in the living room with my clothes on and just leave me there until they can swoop
stitch a pair of shorts on your dead body so that they can't see.
The only worse about being embarrassed in life is being embarrassed when you're fucking dead and you can't defend yourself.
It's funny.
But all right, well, that was a good 45 minutes of therapy.
Yeah, we're 55. Half the two-thirds of the show done.
I mean, the sad part is I don't think I've accomplished anything other than I need to actually just start doing shit. That's what it comes down to, I guess, is I need to just start. I need to do it, as opposed to just sitting here and hoping that something good happens.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I think it comes from? A lot of it when I examine my life, and then we'll get into some good news that we have.
Go ahead.
After we take a break. But where I think a lot of this might come from is that, especially in this career that I've chosen for my life, at the beginning of it, I seem to, and because you were around me but in the MMS days, I was on a trajectory that was pretty good, dude.
Sure.
Like,
oh,
people knew who the fuck I was, and I was out.
You were
gigs
drinking
all
the blue
time.
drink. You were a rising star, man.
Man,
The weight loss drink, whatever that shit was.
Body Solutions.
Yeah.
And dude, I was making like $3-4 grand a month for doing that shit. And then on top of, I was out at like every concert, every cell phone store, every gig. Dude, I got in a fucking car accident leaving Denny's, and people were yelling my name out as I got out of the car and almost killed somebody with my vehicle. And I mean, shit, I would go out to eat with my ex-wife, and people would sit down to dinner with me. I didn't ask them to sit down, just come. They said, "Oh yeah," and so I was on a trajectory that seemed pretty good. And then all of a sudden, I get a boss or two that weren't fans, or I see some douchebags who just sucked enough ball sack to advance their career, and it seemed like all of a sudden it didn't go the way that I wanted. And then I was on Trip Show, which was fantastic.
Sure.
Big audience, huge audience. And I thought for sure being on that show was going to, I guess, help the resume, and it was a big show. All it did was piss people off that I was on his show. Management hated me for being on his show and doing what he wanted me to do. And it didn't go, nothing has gone right. And I've seen people that don't deserve to be promoted or elevated to the status that they're at now, even. I listen to some of these people now, and I'm like, how are you even doing radio? You're like so unfunny, so unentertaining. How is it even possible you have a fucking job, much less doing radio? And you sit there and go, what happened? Who did I piss off? And you sit there, and then you lose hope after a while.
Well, I mean, it's one way. Again, this is you being stuck in the box, because being stuck in the box, you look at it as only one way. You can look at it as a lot of ways. I'm positive at some point, Triv told you, if you're going to make it a radio, you got to go out and do it yourself. You got to leave this show and do it yourself.
Of course.
I know, because Triv told people that, because that was the truth. And you didn't do it. You stayed loyal, which in essence turns you into Dumb or Dieter or one of those guys on that show.
Loyalty
that can't leave.
Loyalty got me nowhere. Being a decent person got me nowhere. I stood up for people
but you're in a business that doesn't have decent people.
I stood up for scumbags that should have been fired and were going to get fired. I stood up for them. I vouched for them, and now they're doing better than me. And they
fucked you over on the way up to doing better.
Absolutely, without a doubt, they did.
Yeah, because radio is a scuzzy business. Second worst in the world, only to actual music.
And I'm not that kind of guy. I've just never been that kind of guy to just step on somebody to try to get myself somewhere. I mean, I think to a fault. I think that has really hurt my growth in this business.
It probably has. You need to be a cutthroat prick. Look at the people that are mainstays in this town. Like Rover. How many people has he stepped over?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there's been a lot.
He stepped over whole stations. Fucking 92.3 built the whole station around him, and then he fucked him and went to the competitor.
Right.
I mean, that's a shady move, man.
I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't,
Your dad did too good of a job with you.
My dad was kind of the guy who took a lot of jobs and did what he had to do. And it was very successful. So, I mean, I can't, maybe I should have been more like him. But
who knows? But it ain't too late to change. How old are you? What are you? You're not even 50, are you?
48.
Yeah, you got fucking time. Do something different.
Well, that's the other thing I was telling my wife, is that if I'm going to do something other than radio, I think I have to do it in another state, like all the other.
Yeah.
I just think I do. I don't want to be that guy who's got a new job, new career, and have somebody come, oh, yeah, weren't you that guy who did radio for like 20 years, and look at you now, douche.
Yeah. You don't want to be that guy handing somebody a card at Walmart? Yeah. Don't you remember me on WMMS?
Okay. I don't want to be that guy. I just don't. I know too many of those guys, and they're fucking miserable, and they want to kill themselves. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Rick's right there too.
What's this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. I mean, because of our next venture here, I should probably read that out loud. You should do some daily YouTube videos about your daily life. Those are usually entertaining, and you always have interesting things to talk about. I appreciate that. I may have to do that. All right, we do have some news.
Yeah.
To talk about.
We do.
So, why don't we take a quick break?
Okay.
I'd like to point out that handstoamerica.org, the commercial about to play, Mario is going to be taking off here shortly. And he needs blankets and needs a bunch of stuff to help out flood victims. So go to handstoamerica.org, handstoamerica.org, and help out. But here's some more info. We'll be right back.
When disaster strikes, we come together. Here at Mario's Barbershop, we've turned our passion into purpose. As Hands to America, a 501c3 nonprofit, we're on the ground helping those hit by hurricanes, floods, fires, and tornadoes, right here in northeastern Ohio and nationwide. But we can't do it alone. We need your help to keep this vital work going. Your donations, whether it's cash or vehicles, can bring hope to those who've lost so much. Join us in making a real impact. Every donation fuels relief efforts and helps rebuild lives. Call us at 844-864-2637 or locally at 216-520-1977 or visit us at handstoamerica.org to see how you can help.
There's plenty of places to experience the Seth Williams Show, but if you want all the content, you need to join us on Minds. Get all the live episodes of the show every Monday and Wednesday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Get the special bonus footage every Wednesday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. Get bonus content from Seth and Chris as it's produced. It's only $4.99 per month, so don't wait. Sign up today. Visit us at www.minds.com/Seth Williams Show.
Right back here on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Akin, and I apologize and thank you everybody for listening to my therapy session for the day. One guy in the text up earlier said that you should be charging $300 an hour for this, Chris.
Well, I know you won't pay it, so I won't throw the bill to you. I'm making it off of those $2 or whatever from Minds that we get every once in a while.
I don't even know what we have with that. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Oh, God. But you can sign up for Minds. Don't forget minds.com/Seth Williams Show. Things will be changing on Wednesdays.
Yes.
So if you want to sign up for Minds, I would do that like right now because Minds is going to be the best content ever on Wednesdays after the actual show.
I would think so.
Because there's going to be a new format to Wednesday's show from now on.
That's right.
Assuming that I can do it, and I'm going to make an attempt. I'm going to actually do it. I'm going to do it. This will be my first change of many.
There you go.
So on Wednesdays, we'll start a new show. We can call it Righty Lefty.
Does that make me the lefty? I sure hope not.
Because of the missing leg stuff. Oh. All right. So on Wednesdays, we will not be swearing anymore.
No. That's going to be tough.
It's going to be very difficult to do. We are going to censor ourselves. And no swearing from 4 o'clock till 5:30.
That's right.
Because it looks like that this show will now be on weekends on 1420 WHK.
That's right.
Look at that.
Look at us. That's a radio gig.
Assuming they don't sell the station tomorrow during that meeting.
Wouldn't that be funny?
That would be.
Just want to tell you guys, I know you guys wonder what this meeting's about. We're switching to all Spanish all the time.
Yes, man. Goodbye.
And if you don't speak Spanish, you're fired.
Have a great life. But as of right now, they have asked me to have this show and put it on the radio on the weekends. I'll have more info as far as what time. But I've asked for a week or two to put together some content, considering none of the content that we've had over the past years is like permissible on any radio station. And so things will change on Wednesdays. Wednesdays will be the show that we will use for the on-air content on the radio.
Right.
Because it's going to be more topical that way, closer to the weekend, so it's better to do. And we have to get some stuff recorded that has no swearing.
Need something for a demo. I can't even imagine what you sent them, or they were like, that's good. Bring it on.
Well, the great thing is I don't think he's ever actually listened to the show.
Oh, that's perfect. That's
he's like, well, do you talk local stuff? I was like, we talk local, and we talk politics, and we talk, sometimes interviews. I mean, I've told him some of the guests we've had, musical guests and stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be great. And I said, okay, well, when do you want me to start? Well, you can have something this weekend. No, not going to have anything this weekend.
Oh, we could this coming weekend if we do okay on Wednesday.
Right. So the goal is to have a centered show on Wednesdays. Monday should generally probably stay the same. But then the content on Minds following the Wednesday show is going to be one big giant swear word. In fact, we may say the F word once, just one time, and just draw it out for a half hour.
Yeah.
So I think Minds is going to be like really fun now.
Yeah. Oh,
not that it hasn't been before, but it's going to be a lot of like boob videos and murder stuff. And
we are going to get to the Minds section of the show, and it is just going to be like, twat Sydney Sweeney's pussy, cunt. Oh, everything. Fuck. Here's some porn.
A lot of pent up energy that will be released at 5:30 on Minds.
We'll be doing the whole nice. Well, everybody, thanks a lot for listening. It's been great. Fuck.
So yeah, because I really don't want to spend like hours like editing the show. So I really want to do a clean show on Wednesday so we can have it ready to go for on-air purposes on Saturdays on WHK. So I think that'll be fun.
Look at us. Look at us getting there.
Brian Mike, WHK on Saturday is getting better. See?
You know what? I hope they put us up directly against Mike Chiselka's show.
That would be awesome.
That would make my day.
Square jar for charity. I don't have enough money to put in a square jar for us.
I think we could both go with that. I can go without swearing for an hour and a half.
I do it all the time with the radio stuff. I like when I go to the studio and for Bob's show, I never even think about swearing.
Yeah, the big problem is going to be me. I know that because I don't even not swear in real life.
Either.
In day to day, I'm but you have to put it on at least somewhat at work or whatever, where I don't even have that environment.
Right.
Like everything I have, when I'm working, the only person I really deal with when I'm working is my kid. And I could certainly say, would you go get that fucking thing done? There's no decorum on there. So it's going to be a challenge, but I can do it. I did it for 12 years.
So spends $12 a day on Diet Coke and water and can't afford a swear jar. Damn right. Although that's better than before, a liter of vodka, even though it was gas station brand, and then 3 Bud Ices and 2 packs of cigarettes.
Right.
Whatever to Mike on this show. He disappeared. I'm not sure why. I must have missed you talk about it. All right, I can briefly talk about that. And you have insight on that too.
I do. Yeah, I know what happened, but this is your story to tell, not mine. I was just here.
So I'll give the brief rundown in case people listening haven't heard about it. But Mike Chiselka was a guy that worked with Triv for a while, doing benefit stuff. He's a comedian. Toured with Sam Kinison back in the day, and we knew each other from working benefits and stuff. And he asked me when I got fired if I wanted to do a podcast, and I said, yeah, that'd be great. And his idea behind it was let's bring people together. Everybody hates one side or the other. Let's bring people together. And I was like, okay, I guess, try that. But I'm very outspoken when it comes to Trump, as we know, but I was willing to give it a shot. And the more time went on, to me, it just appeared that he was not on the same page. There was no bringing people together. It was more, listen to me. If you like Trump, you're a fucking asshole and and you suck. But let's bring people together. And we had a lot of arguments, a lot of fights and stuff that I didn't think were very good for the show. I mean, I know there's good shows, point, counterpoint kind of stuff, and
Sure.
but that wasn't one of them. It was hatred. It was, it turned into just hateful commentary and wasn't productive and wasn't fun. I wasn't having a good time doing the show. The numbers for the show led to what we have today. I mean, people just started dropping off like flies.
Right.
And it was terrible. And it just kept going down and down. I mean, I was getting actually offers for money to get rid of them. And I was loyal again to a fault and didn't. And I talked to Chris numerous times about what should I do here.
Right.
And as you can say, you gave me your advice.
I did. I just said try and work it out, and if not, you got to move on.
Right. And so eventually it just came to a point where I couldn't take. I mean, shit, when we have the flat earth guy on and he's just talking his mess and, next thing you know, there's a yelling, screaming match. I didn't think it wasn't fun. Even guests were mad.
Yeah. It got weird. And before anybody even says it, I certainly wasn't vying for his job.
No, not at all.
I have my own shows that I do. And even when I started, I had even told you, I said, this is part-time. I'll do this till you find a guy.
Right.
But then it just sort of worked out, that it just got comfortable.
I didn't find a guy. And, when I think that you and I have a good rapport, and I think that you and I have good conversations, and you and I.
And we don't agree on a lot of stuff. And that's okay.
That's what I was just about to say, is that we can agree and disagree at the same time, and not sit there and scream at each other.
No, we can't. God damn it!
That's a good impression, and we certainly. I mean, I'm not going to get personal, but there's, we both sit here, and I have a Diet Coke, and I think you have like some water or something next to you, and. But that's about it. That's all the drinking that goes on during this show, and things just got weird. It got to the point where it was there was no going back. Now I regret kind of the way that I handled it, because I got pretty pissed, and I said some things that I probably shouldn't have said, because Mike is actually a decent guy and a good friend. We just don't get along politically even a little bit. But he was there for me in the hospital when I was there, and. Is a good person. Again, politically is just not a good mix for this show, and not a good mix even when we're off the air. Just get talking.
Yeah, I like Mike personally. I
love him. Yeah,
Mike, I have no issue with Mike at all.
But I really don't either, other than politics. I mean, I make it my personal mission to point out his comments on Facebook and call him a fraud. But I'm more than happy to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, bud, how you doing? How's comedy going?" and talk to him like nothing ever happened. But when it comes to politics, it just was not a good thing.
Yeah, it just didn't mesh. It happens. He was the Alan Combs to your Hannity.
Right. It was not. And again, I feel bad because it made for bad radio after a while, bad podcasting, whatever you want to call it. It just made for a bad show.
Yeah, it was tough at the end. It definitely was. Look, pulling back the curtain, there would be, you guys would do the show, and the show would end, and 3 seconds later, my phone would ring, and it would be you.
Yeah.
And then an hour after you called me, then Mike would call me.
Right.
And then it was like, and I'm telling you both, you guys should talk to each other. You guys should figure this out. I told you both the same thing. You guys got to talk to each other. You got to talk to each other. But neither one was able to, because the politics were, let's not forget, that was a pretty heated moment in politics too. So, not that I think you guys would do any better today, but but it was definitely way more heated at that point as well.
Yeah,
so
it was.
So, yeah, it just didn't work. That happens. We don't have any hate toward Mike as much as we goof on him sometimes.
Right.
We don't got no hate toward Mike.
But I would really like it if this Saturday thing on WHK with this podcast goes right up against his Let's Bring Everybody Together show.
See if we can bring the audience together.
Well, I'm just still trying to. I'm trying to figure out how that model goes with. Seth, we got to bring everybody together.
Trump's an asshole.
Trump's an asshole, and everybody who listens to him should light on fire because you're all the devil.
But come together with us.
It makes no sense. You see his posts on Facebook, and every little thing is anti-Trump, anti-Trump, anti-Trump. And then they say, but Mike, do you realize that everything you posted is anti-Trump? Not one thing was ever anti-Biden. That's a lie. I don't say anything bad about Trump. I'm commenting on a post that's about Trump. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I'm done.
Too funny.
I wish it would have ended better, but it didn't.
Shit moves on. That's
but I am happy with
years ago. That's already several years ago. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, I know that you say numbers are numbers, whatever it is, and the numbers look like bullshit. But you know how many times a week I go out and people are saying that they listen to the show or watch the show and they like it?
Yeah.
And they're not people that are commenting all the time.
I don't believe the numbers on any of these things.
I mean, believe me, I would know the people that we see the comments from, a lot of the same people every week, and I love them. But the people that come up to me and say, "Hey, I watch your show," are not those people. And so I don't know. Whatever the numbers are, they are. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I enjoy coming here and doing the show every Monday and Wednesday.
Look, we could have me talking to you and you talking to me and nobody watching. And if it's a good show, I'm fine with it. Yeah. I'd rather have that than 10,000 people watching and do a shitty show. So
right, if I could make $10 a month, I'd be happy.
Yeah, that'd be good. 10 big ones.
But whatever. Did you see the? Do you even want to get into politics or anything? Do you even want to get a story?
We can. I mean,
I'll just bring up the quick one. Did you see the AI generated picture that Trump put out
of him as the Pope?
Yeah,
I did see that, but I could pull it up.
The people on the left and even some on the right are fucking freaking the hell out, dude.
Why? Why does that matter?
I saw a guy that I used to work with at the other radio station who lost his fucking mind. How am I going to do this Wednesday show without swearing? Every other word that comes out of my mouth is a swear word. He lost his mind, screaming that this is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened in the history of our country.
Most in the history of the country.
In the history of the country, there's never been a more embarrassing presidential time than this one.
Really? How about like 3 years or a year ago? That was pretty fucking embarrassing.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, dude, they made memes of Trump looking like Hitler.
Yeah.
And that isn't bad? No. Somebody else made a meme of Trump looking, an AI-generated picture of Trump looking like the Pope, and Trump or whoever from the White House shared it on Truth Social, and now all of a sudden this is the most embarrassing thing. He didn't say he actually wanted to be the Pope. It's a joke. It's funny. Nobody wants to laugh anymore.
Well, what's even worse, have you seen the video? This is great. As if the picture wasn't bad enough. Look at this video.
Right, can you please send that to me? Where is that?
It's on Twitter. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please send that to me.
How great is that?
Like one of our friends who listens to the show, I guess it's Charlie. Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood. good guy. Call him if you need any auto repair. Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood. He sent me a meme. It's Trump with the Pope outfit on and everything, and a cardinal. And instead of the gray smoke coming out of the thing, it's orange smoke coming out of the stack.
Right.
Like for Trump, and it's fucking hysterical. But it's not, dude. It's not sacrilegious. It's a joke, man. People put memes out all the damn time, and you got the left just crying over this, like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. Dude.
Well, the left had no problem with this picture. Where is it? This one. Now, did they?
No, they were fine with that
at all.
No,
but Trump, it's a problem.
Fucking crazy. And I said to the guy that used to work with me, I said, wait a second. You are from the party of defending a wife-abusing, human-smuggling gang member who's been deported. Your party is defending him and trying to bring him back to America. Your party defends women who murder children. Your party defends men who are playing women's sports and injuring them while doing so. And you're going to complain about a picture of Trump looking like the Pope? Who the hell are you people? It's so crazy. What the left have lost their damn minds. But, I mean, I don't get it. Do you find it offensive? You're a theology guy.
I don't care. I think the Pope all by itself is a travesty.
I mean, the last Pope wasn't really all that great. Let's just be honest with you a little bit. I mean, it was a little bit more progressive than actually true Catholics would like, changing a lot of different things that I certainly wasn't brought up with as a Catholic. And so, it was even lied about Jesus being an immigrant. I mean, the whole thing was a mess.
Yeah.
The guy who's talking about us should be letting all these people into our country when he's surrounded by walls.
Yeah, that last Pope, good riddance. Hopefully you're with Jesus now.
It's not like Trump sat there at a computer trying to find an AI image of himself on ChatGPT to make himself look like the Pope. Although Bob France, on his Strictly Speaking page on Facebook, did create a Kamala Harris picture as Pope, which is really funny to look at.
Pope Kamala.
But people are they've lost their minds, man. I'm reading some of these comments on Facebook. You'd think the world was coming to an end because there was a meme.
Well, there's never been a meme before.
I mean, wasn't it Time Magazine that put him on the cover as Hitler? I mean, well, but that's all right, I guess.
Look, there's never been memes before. Political memes. That's new.
See, Brian Mike chiming in about Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood. Charlie fixed my car for a third of what it should have. Charlie is really good with electronics and good with cars. I'm not joking. He's not paying for an ad. I'm just telling you that right now. But he does. I wish he did. Fucking Charlie. Start advertising again.
Yeah, come on, Charlie.
On a personal note, he's a good guy and a good friend, and he really does try to help you out when you have a car problem. So
sure.
In fact, he get this crap. So that's enough about politics. I'm done enough for today.
That's it.
So we're going on this vacation, right?
Yeah.
To Tennessee at the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife is also slightly paranoid and it's a little crazy at times, right? So she's afraid that her car is going to break down on the way to Tennessee.
Okay.
I said, well, you don't know that it's going to break down.
Right.
Well, I think I need tires and this, that, and the other thing. I was like, well, we can have the car checked out like next week or something by Charlie and see what it's going to need. She says, no. It have to be like the day before we go. I said, well, no, we're not taking it in the day before we go because then what if he says that there's a problem with it? We don't have time to fix it.
Yeah, right.
Well, if we fix it too soon, then we could have other problems by the time we go.
Oh, my God.
You got it. What the fuck, dude? I'm like, well, how are we going to get to Tennessee? Well, let's rent a car. So now we're renting a car to go to Tennessee.
Who says that car won't break down?
That's what I said. Said,
when was it last inspected? But
at least it's not our car.
Oh, that makes it better. That'll get you there then.
I don't know, man. I just work here. I'm telling you, I got to get out of this box.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to bring it all back around. I got to get out of the box, start taking some risks, and do what I got to do.
There you go.
Habu. Did my sister-in-law's car. Thank you, Charlie. See, oh, man, what the hell, dude? This guy better start advertising again. All these people that listen to the show got their car fixed by Charlie. We don't get any credit for that? I'm going to have to message that guy after the show and be like, dude, you don't realize half my audience, I don't have that many, but half my audience got their cars fixed by you.
Even that probably pays for a month of his lease or whatever out there.
Yeah, something. I don't even know what's going on with the shop anymore. We should have him on sometime soon.
Yeah, because we haven't heard since they tried to shut him down.
No.
We know he's still open, but...
Absolutely, he's open. Call.
Huh?
Charlie's Auto Repair Liquid. All right, time to wrap this baby up. Put a bow on it. We'll talk to you on Wednesday, God willing, with a censored show. And then,
that doesn't mean it won't be edgy. It just means it won't be. We just won't say fuck.
Right. Or shit, or cock, or pussy, or whatever, dude.
We'll talk about Sydney Sweeney's large breasts, not her big tits.
Right. Exactly. So it'll still be fun. But mines will be off the hook. So sign up for mines. And Charlie performed magic on my van. Thank you, Charlie. That's it. Charlie owes us money. I don't care if he advertises or not. I'm just demanding a check.
Nice.
All right. Have yourself a great rest of your Monday and a good Tuesday. And God willing, we'll talk to you on Wednesday. And thank you again, my friends. We will talk to you later.
See ya.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Trip, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.
Hey,
Hey, it's Chris Akin from the classic metal show Chris Akin Presents and the Seth Williams Show, straight from the uncensored heart of the CMS network. We've just been crowned a certified Rumble creator, and that means we're bringing the heat. All our shows, commercial-free, baby. Advance episode drops sometimes months before the normal release, so you're not stuck waiting. You'll get all this plus exclusive content for Rumble Premium subscribers that'll blow your mind. And with Rumble Premium, you'll get every CMS Network show and all of Rumble's other videos with no ads and no fluff. This is our official home, Rumble. It's raw, powerful, and unfiltered. You want in? Just hit us up at rumble.com/register/classic metal show to sign up for free commenting, chat live, and just your ability to join the chaos of all of our shows. Then while you're there, swing by any of our videos, smash that Rumble Premium button, and level up. Subscribe now. Don't sleep on this. Hit the link in the description.